Have you ever felt true fear? I don't mean fear of ghosts. I don't mean fear of spiders. I mean the fear of standing in a foreign country, thousands of miles from home, and realizing you might not be allowed to enter. 5 years ago, I landed at Heathrow Airport in London. It was my first solo trip. I had my suitcase, my passport, and my big dreams. I walked off the plane. I followed the signs that said border control. I saw the line. It was huge. Hundreds of people waiting. And at the front of the line, there were glass booths. Inside those booths were the immigration officers. They didn't look friendly. They weren't smiling. They were stamping passports with a loud thump. Thump. My heart started beating fast. Boom, boom, boom. I told myself, Atlas, relax. You have your visa. You have your return ticket. You speak English. It will be fine. Finally, it was my turn. The officer waved his hand. Next. I walked up to the glass. I handed him my passport. My hands were shaking a little bit. He looked at the passport. He looked at me. He looked back at the passport. And then, he asked the question. What is the purpose of your visit? It is a simple question. I knew the answer. The answer was tourism. But in that moment, my brain froze. The English language disappeared from my head. I panicked. I started to stutter. I am. I want to. London is good, and I walk. The officer stopped writing. He looked at me over his glasses. His face changed from bored to suspicious. He asked another question. How are you supporting yourself financially during your stay? Financially? Supporting? The words sounded like alien language. I didn't answer. I just stared at him. He closed my passport. He didn't stamp it. He pressed a button on his desk and said, Sir, please step aside. My colleague will escort you to the interview room. The room. My blood ran cold. I wasn't entering London. I was entering the room. Before I tell you what happened inside that room, and the secret phrase that saved me, we need to pause. Because if you don't understand the vocabulary of the airport, you cannot defend yourself. Let's look at the words that tripped me up. Vocabulary break 1. Word guide, don't panic. Let's learn the survival words for border control. 1. Border control/immigration, noun. Definition. The place at an airport or port where officials check the documents of people entering the country. Example. The line at border control was very long. 2. Purpose of visit, phrase. Definition. The main reason why you are traveling, tourism, business, study. Example. When asked for his purpose of visit, he said he was attending a conference. 3. Suspicious, adjective. Definition. Having or showing a cautious distrust of someone or something. Thinking someone is doing something wrong. Example. The police officer looked suspicious because the man was acting nervously. 4. Step aside, phrasal verb. Definition. To move out of the way, to move to the side. Example. Please step aside so other passengers can pass. Now, back to Atlas. He is in trouble. So, there I was. Sitting on a plastic chair in a small, gray room. My phone had no signal. My suitcase was gone. It was still on the carousel, I assumed. I sat there for 10 minutes. It felt like 10 years. I thought, this is it. They are going to deport me. I will be sent back home on the next plane. My holiday is over. Then, a different officer came in. She looked stern, but calm. She sat down across from me. Sir, she said. Let's try this again. Why are you in the UK? I took a deep breath. I remembered my mindset training from video 1. I told myself, Atlas, you are not a criminal. You are a tourist. Just speak the truth. Keep it simple. I looked her in the eye and said, I am here for tourism. I want to see the British Museum. She nodded. Okay. And where are you staying? This is the second most common question. And this is where many people fail because they don't have the address ready. I pulled out a printed piece of paper from my pocket. Always print your hotel confirmation. I am staying at the King's Hotel on Oxford Street. Here is the reservation. She looked at the paper. She typed something into her computer. Then she asked the money question. Do you have enough funds for your stay? This was the question that confused me earlier. Funds means money. I didn't have cash. But I had my card. I said, yes. I have my credit card and £500 in cash. She typed again. The room was silent. I could hear the clock ticking. Tick. Tock. Then, she smiled. Okay, Atlas. Welcome to London. Enjoy the museum. She stamped my passport. Thump. I almost cried with relief. I walked out of that room, grabbed my bag, and walked into the cold London air. It was the best feeling in the world. So, what is the lesson here? The lesson is, don't overcomplicate. When an officer asks a question, give a short answer. Question, purpose of visit? Bad answer, well, I love history and my friend told me London is nice. Too much info. Good answer, tourism. Perfect. Question, how long are you staying? Bad answer, maybe a week or maybe 10 days if I like it. Suspicious. Good answer, 7 days. My return flight is next Tuesday. Clear. But surviving the airport is only level 1. Once I got out of the airport, I faced level 2, the taxi driver. And let me tell you, understanding a native London taxi driver is harder than passing a physics exam. I got into a black cab. The driver turned to me and said something that sounded like, "Where gonna, mate?" I stared at him. Excuse me? Where gonna? I had no idea what he was saying. I thought I knew English. But I didn't know real-life English. Let's break down this taxi disaster with our word guide before I tell you how I ended up at the wrong hotel. Vocabulary break 2. Word guide, welcome to the confusing world of native pronunciation. 1. Funds, noun. Definition, money available for a specific purpose. Example, do you have sufficient funds for this trip? 2. Deport, verb. Definition, to expel a foreigner from a country, typically for illegal status or committing a crime. Example, he was worried they would deport him for not having a visa. 3. Where are you going? Where gonna? Connected speech. Explanation, native speakers squash words together. Where plus or plus you plus going becomes where gonna. Tip, don't expect to hear every word clearly. Listen for the rhythm. Back to Atlas in the taxi.so, I survived the taxi driver. I showed him the address on my phone, and he nodded. All right, Gov. That means okay, sir in London taxi language. We arrived at the King's Hotel. It was midnight. I was exhausted. All I wanted was a soft bed and a hot shower. I walked to the reception desk. The receptionist was typing on her computer. She looked up and gave me a polite smile. Good evening, sir. Checking in, yes, I said. My name is Atlas. I have a reservation for 5 nights, she typed my name. Click. 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 She frowned. She typed again. Click. Click, then she looked at me with those eyes. You know the eyes. The I have bad news eyes. I am sorry, sir, she said. I cannot find a reservation under that name. My stomach dropped. The cold feeling came back. That is impossible, I said. I booked it 2 weeks ago. I am sorry, she repeated. The system is empty. And unfortunately, we are fully booked tonight. Fully booked. Midnight. Raining outside. The old Atlas would have panicked. The old Atlas would have shouted. Or cried, but I remembered the golden rule of travel English: politeness is power. If you get angry in English, you look rude. But if you remain calm and polite, people want to help you. So, I used the problem-solving protocol. I pulled out my phone, where I had the email saved, and I used 3 magic phrases. The soft correction: instead of saying you are wrong, I said, could you please double-check? Here is my confirmation number. The spelling check: maybe it is misspelled in the system. My name is Atlas. ATLAS. The what-if solution: if you cannot find it, is there another room available? Or can you recommend a nearby hotel? She took my phone. She looked at the number. Ah, she exclaimed. I see what happened. The system put your first name as your last name. Here you are, Mr. Atlas. Relief washed over me. Imagine if I had yelled at her? She might not have looked so hard. Being polite saved my bed.so. I got my room key. I went upstairs. I collapsed on the bed. I had survived the border control. I had survived the taxi. I had survived the hotel check-in. I was ready to explore London, but the next day, I faced the final boss, the street. You see, in textbooks, they teach you to say, excuse me, where is the train station? But in real life, if you stop a busy Londoner and ask where is the station, they might ignore you. It sounds too direct. Too demanding. To get help from a stranger, you need this sandwich method. Top bun: apology, sorry to bother you. Meat: question, I am looking for the British Museum. Bottom bun: gratitude, thank you so much. I tried this on a man in a suit walking very fast. Sorry to bother you, I am a bit lost. I am looking for the tube station. He stopped. He smiled. Oh, it's just round the corner, mate. Take a left. It worked. Travel isn't about being perfect. It is about connection. It is about solving problems with a smile. It is about realizing that even if you make a mistake, even if you get lost, even if you panic, you will figure it out. You are stronger than you think. And your English is better than you think. Before I say goodbye for the last time, let's look at the final survival vocabulary. Vocabulary Break 3. Word Guide: these phrases will save you in a hotel crisis. 1. Fully booked, adjective. Definition: no rooms or seats are available, completely full. Example: I wanted to eat at that restaurant, but they were fully booked. 2. Confirmation number, noun. Definition: the unique code that proves you bought a ticket or reserved a room. Example: always keep a screenshot of your confirmation number. 3. Double check, verb. Definition: to check something again to be completely sure. Example: I double-checked that I locked the door before leaving. 4. Sorry to bother you, phrase. Definition: a polite way to interrupt someone to ask for help. Example: sorry to bother you, but do you have the time? Now, back to Atlas for the final farewell. My friends, we have been on a long journey together. Started with our morning routine, defeating the snooze button. We learned to talk about our real feelings and stopped saying I'm fine. We mastered the self-introduction and stopped sounding like robots. We discovered the 1% rule and how to build habits. And finally, we learned how to survive in a foreign country. Hope these stories have shown you that English is not just a subject to study. It is a tool to live. You don't need to be perfect to be understood. You don't need to know every word in the dictionary to be fluent. You just need courage. You need to open your mouth and speak. Thank you for letting me be your guide. Thank you for listening to my stories. This is the end of this series, but it is just the beginning of your journey. Keep listening. Keep practicing. Keep making mistakes, because every mistake is proof that you are trying. I am Atlas. This has been the English Leap podcast. Go out there and explore the world. Goodbye.